No one saw it coming. Maybe that's the most frustrating part. A team stacked with talent, armed with the kind of firepower that makes defenses second-guess every snap. And yet, again, it slips through their fingers. The Miami Dolphins, once more, right on the edge of something that could have been special. But somehow, again, they get stuck in the same place, not quite enough. You watch them, week after week, and it builds. That electric rush when Tyreek explodes past the corner, when Tua threads one and like it's nothing, when Javon Holland plays like he's got every route memorized. You feel it. This team can do something. Then a cold snap hits. Not the weather. No, not in Miami. It's the kind of cold that creeps into the locker room, the kind that sets in when the injuries pile up and the trust starts to thin. And now, when the offseason should be about tuning, about adding those final few pieces, it's not. It's tense. It's uncomfortable. There's something bubbling just beneath the surface, and it's not the kind of thing that gets resolved with a handshake or a press conference quote. Jalen Ramsey, Mike McDaniel. It's not working. You can try to look past it. You can focus on the draft, on free agency, on who's bulking up in the offseason. But the shadow of this disconnect is impossible to ignore. It's not loud, not public, but it's real. You can sense it in how Ramsey talks, when he does talk. You can feel it in how McDaniel avoids the topic, how his tone changes just slightly when the name comes up. These things don't happen out of nowhere. Something's been eroding. It started quiet. A disagreement here, a preference there. Maybe a conversation that didn't go the right way. One player thinking one thing, a coach seeing it another. At first, it's manageable. You keep it internal. But over time, these little things calcify. And now the leaks are out. The trade rumors have teeth. This isn't speculative anymore. There are teams watching, circling. There are calls being made. It's wild to think that just 2 seasons ago, Ramsey was the prize. The statement. The move that said, we're not waiting anymore. And now, the Dolphins might be preparing to let him go. Not because of his play. He's still got it. It's about something deeper. Chemistry. Control. Trust. And where does this leave Miami? It's not like they can afford to lose someone like Ramsey. Not with the secondary already in flux. They've lost bodies. They've lost leadership. And sure, there's young talent, but youth doesn't patch every hole. The idea that you could just take someone like Jalen Ramsey out of this defense and be fine? That's a gamble no one wants to see tested. So now, the whispers start to swirl around another name. Xavier Howard. You remember him. Of course you do. The swagger, the picks, the way he could shift a game with one read. He was the Dolphins' secondary. For years. And now, he's been away, watching, waiting. Still in shape. Still locked in. But the idea of him returning, well, that's not so clean either. He said he's moved on. He said the door's closed. But is it really? Or is that just the kind of thing you say when it doesn't feel like there's a path back yet? Because here's the thing. If there's a shot at repairing what's broken between McDaniel and Ramsey, Howard might be the key. They had a bond. There was respect there, trust. And maybe that kind of presence is what's needed in the room again. Someone who's not afraid to call it like it is. Someone who's seen the highs and the lows and can cut through the noise. But even if Howard stays retired or signs elsewhere, the Dolphins can't sit still. There's no version of this where they run it back unchanged and expect a different result. Not when the offensive line is still shaky. Not when Tua's health is a permanent question mark. Not when you've got pieces that shine on their own, but a puzzle that still doesn't quite fit. You can't talk about this team without mentioning the edge rushers. The return of Jalen Phillips should be massive. When he's healthy, he's a force. Same goes for Chubb, though the injuries have taken their toll. Then you've got the rookies, Robinson and Kamara, raw, fast, hungry. But potential only gets you so far. They'll need time, coaching, and reps. Depth is still thin. You feel it late in games. You feel it when quarterbacks have just a second too long. So what's the plan? What are they building toward? Because make no mistake, this offseason, it's not just about patching holes. It's about identity. It's about deciding who this team actually wants to be. You can look at other contenders. Teams that know how to finish. What do they all have? Continuity. Not just in talent, but in mindset. In leadership, that's where Miami keeps slipping. The injuries are real, yes. The misfortune is undeniable. But every team deals with adversity. The ones who rise, they've got something unshakable holding them together.